welcome. This is Russ, your guy in Guam. Welcome to video number 3 in this series. I'm doing these weekly videos. It is May the 14th, 2021, documenting my ongoing weight loss journey that I began on April the 20th of this year. So we're not quite a month into it, a little bit shy of a month into it, but I made my first video for this series on the 30th, so we went from the April the 20th, and then the 30th I made my first video, and then again last week, and welcome to week 3, look, I'm all about mindset and personal improvement. I'm a writer working from home, and I do some writing in the health and wellness space, other types of writing, and so I'm putting myself out there in the hopes that, maybe this will, connect for some people. If going through a journey with somebody online, helps you out, helps you with the mindset, helps you see what somebody else is going through. That's all part and parcel of it, right? And then again, as I say, this is me doing putting myself out there in doing something personal. It's also, as I talked about, and trying to do some of the writing in the health and wellness space, and also as part of in considering that, and in considering how I've been, making it, or integrating this into an overall sort of self-improvement effort, right? As I say, I'm a writer. I'm trying to, build my finances and build a business, and again, connect with people, build a brand, right, if you will. Those are all parts of my motivation. In previous videos, of course, I've also talked about, my motivation as a parent. This is my little guy here. I've talked about him before. He's now 3 years old, and it's not that I'm ignoring these guys. These are my wife's children when they were babies from her first marriage, and but they're adults now. We love them very much. They're just not here with us in Guam. They're certainly, they're out on their own. They don't need ongoing parenting. But this little guy, I want to be there for him, right? And so, it's part of also taking control of my health. And being consistent, being integrated is part of the thought. Is that it does. Again, if you get into any kind of self-improvement, you do some reading on it. All of the mentorship advice that's out there. What you're going to run into time and time again is a constant message that says, you want to, in order to have your mindset, you're going to be undermining if you're not integrated, if you're not coherent with it, if you're sort of out of balance in a given area. It undermines you. It undermines what you're trying to accomplish. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, listen, man, here you are significantly overweight. You really, I'm age 50, and I'm dealing with the sorts of expected health issues that you find in people who've been carrying a significant amount of weight, as I have throughout my life, with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. I want to get all of those things under control. I'm not looking to check out anytime soon, and I want to be there for my little guy as long as I possibly can, and be not restricted. That's again part of my motivation. And so I wanted to say though that I'm going to get to the weight loss progress for the week a little bit quicker, I think, than is my intent for most weeks, at least when it goes well, because the story, I think, for this week is that I'm carrying a little bit of frustration. I don't think that, I hope that it's not coming across. I feel like, overall, I am trying to build a very strong mindset game and use that as part of my fuel to propel me forward to what I expect to be good success with all of this. And so when I say that I'm experiencing some frustration, it's you've got to contextualize what that means, so to sort of not drag it out too far, then April the 20th, right, began the weight loss journey. I was at 265.1 pounds, and then by week one. And as I go on, I'm not going to go through and like, hey, week one, week two, week three. But I'm still early enough in here, and I think we can sort of recap and document it. So in that first 10 days, we went from the 265.1 where I started. When I made the first video, I was at 256.5 or so. So right about an 8 plus, not quite 9 full pound weight loss at that point. When I hit 14 days in, I was right at 10 pounds. And then when I made the week 2 video, we had gone from the week 1 video again at the 256.5. Week 2, it was I believe so it was 252.3. And this morning I weighed in at 249.3, right? So we went from a little greater than 4 pounds from week 1 to week 2, and from video 2 here now to video 3, right exactly at 3 pounds. And as I talked about, look, I expect that things would sort of taper off when I talked about this before. When you carry a lot of weight, and you engage in a weight loss effort, it's sort of easy. The pounds come off very quickly, provided that you stick to the program. And I haven't done anything super extraordinary. The effort has mainly been keep a cap on the calories and move more. And as I talked about, it's taken the form of I've been engaging in daily walks. So not super aggressive. I mean, they have been daily, but not super aggressive, killing myself in the gym workouts, and not like starving myself to absolute death. But by adhering to just sort of that basic program, we had that kind of good result. And I wasn't surprised or shocked by that because, again, it's harder probably for somebody who has like a little bit, like got a little bit around the middle, and I need to get back to getting in the gym, and I need to lose that 15 to 20 pounds. Well, for that kind of person, they may not identify with the journey for somebody who has a significant amount of weight to lose, and that is, yes, in the early going. That 10 pounds in 14 days wasn't that shocking because, when you've been eating very poorly and being so sedentary, and then you just start getting a handle on those things, getting that little bit of movement and watching what you eat and starting to eat healthy, it's that little bit of shock to the system, right? And the body, and so the weight comes off relatively easy in the early going. And as I described last week, I expected it to taper off, and that the things that I was doing I thought would get me right into a zone where, again, nutritionists and doctors will probably, they like you to get into a mode where you're losing a healthy amount of weight per week, which is in that 1.5 to 2 pounds or so. And so a 3-pound weight loss is still very good. It's a little, it's ahead of the game as far as being in the middle of it, and then what you'd expect to lose week to week. I mean, you always hope, hey, I hope I get on the scale tomorrow morning, right? And I've somehow magically lost 5 or 10 pounds. But that's not realistic. And again, I being super extreme, I don't want to get there by doing something super extreme and doing anything that's unhealthy. I am following a program, and I'll talk a little bit more maybe about that towards the end here and about how I might address that moving forward. But when I say the frustration level has to do with this. That 249.3 that I weighed in this morning is actually about up 0.4, now almost a half a pound from yesterday, and that's not even the issue, because as I've also talked about, the X factor in all of this is your biology. It goes, it's up and down, it's up and down. Traditionally, when I've undergone weight loss efforts in the past, I'd done it by going week to week. I'd measure my, get on the scale every like Saturday or something, and record it, weekly. The program that I'm involved with is one where they like to see you do it daily, and that's about as much as anything about building a habit. It's not that that it's important. It's not that it's important in some way, sort of scientifically or to the overall success of it, but it's really more about sort of just getting used to being on the scale. People have kind of a scale anxiety, and so you want to break through that fear, break through all of those sorts of things, and but then at the same time you have to bear in mind that you're going to have those daily fluctuations. And so it's not, it's not that I'm up a little bit from yesterday. I mean, yesterday I had a great day. I hit my 10,000 steps. I was well below my caloric intake. And so, you get on this morning and you're up a bit from a day where you were very good. And actually, I would also say I've been good the whole time. I really have not. Since the 20th of April, and again today, May the 14th, I think there were 2 days where I barely broke my calorie budget or cap, or however you want to refer to it, my prescribed calories for losing weight. So I mean, even on those days, I should have still been at an overall caloric deficit and headed towards loss. But again, it's not an exact science. It's the X factor is your body and how it reacts, and how the body goes into starvation modes. And of course, so the point being, if I didn't say it again, the 249.3 sort of represents, it's not the fluctuation that bothers me so much as the fact is that represents like a 4-day block where I'm just at this 249. Yesterday again, 248.9. A couple days ago was at 249.1. So I mean, I'm up from like an up, which is like, so that's, that's just an understandable human frustration. I'm not saying it's not beating me down. Again, hopefully I'm coming across as motivated as ever, but it's to be honest and to be real about it, right? It's, it's like, to have what, and that's what is known as a plateau. You hate to hit them, because you especially when you're doing it, when you feel like you're doing it the right way. So, I feel like I'm coming up to where I might have to do something to try to shake it up, and I don't know that I want to do anything. Although today, my sort of goal or my response is to stay motivated, stay on track, and I think today I'm really going to shoot for a really strict day. Today I am not to be extreme, like I'm not going to not eat today, but it is, I think, going to be my lowest caloric intake, I think probably since I got started. But tomorrow, and I've talked about this before, my wife and I are sort of doing this together. And she's approaching it in her way. She's not battling the same sorts of health issues. She's not carrying the same level of weight. So she's approaching it in her own way. But we get together, of course, at dinner time. We're eating, we share a family meal together. And so there is a bit of coordination that's going on. And she has reported, as we're sort of staying in touch, of course, about our personal journey, how it's going for each other. And she's been upfront that she had a few days where the needle wasn't moving much, but she did say that this morning she had a good morning. Nonetheless, we're kind of in agreement that maybe let's try shaking it up a bit. And I will say that in previous weight loss efforts, when I hit a plateau, sometimes it's helpful to actually have, and again, not only physiologically, because it can help you break out of the plateau, but also just psychologically, right? to remind yourself that life is not all about deprivation. And again, not to say that I'm going through this feeling horribly deprived. No, not at all. We have really found a way, I think, that's been very successful for us to eat very substantive, bulky meals of eating food with that just aren't high in calories. So yeah, a lot of salads, but other things as well beyond just salads that carry water weight. Or they're just less calorie dense kinds of foods, and being able to do those things in combinations that keep it tasty, and therefore legitimately and honestly, I'm able to report not feeling deprived in the effort. Today again, I feel like I'm going to kind of bite the bullet a little more and try to see if being a little strict for a day might help, but we also are talking about breaking out, and this is what I was ramping up to. Breaking out tomorrow. Tomorrow we might set the diet aside for the day, or at least for a meal, and we're having a discussion about what are we going to go out and sort of break the diet, right? And it's again, I've had success where like every Sunday, for instance, I used to live in Chicago for a while, and I had a roommate. We were in Chicago trying to do some things with stand-up comedy, ended up going in different directions. But at the time, I was up there with a stand-up comic from Dallas that I knew, and we had gone up to Chicago to sort of check out the Chicago comedy scene for a while, and I was making a good weight loss effort. He's a guy that was in really good shape, but he would watch his. I mean, he was in good shape, so he ate healthily, right? So we got together on Sundays and would take advantage of Chicago deep dish pizza, and that was not sabotaging, right? If you build it in, that's one of the good strategies. Build in those cheat days. Build in the days where you sort of get to indulge some things. So again, so that it's not always about being mindful of eating less and eating less and eating less. So yeah, so there's your story, and there is. So, a couple of little threads to hang, and come back for next week's adventures to find out, how did I break out of, hopefully I'm not still at 249 next week when I check in. So did I break out of the plateau? How am I doing with my mindset and motivation? Have I latched on to the right strategies? Am I still energized and motivated? And let me say, again, when I say that I've been good to my effort the entire time, bear in mind to me right now, as I sit here on May the 14th, it does me no good to misrepresent myself. I mean, look, as I said, I'm a writer, and part of this is an effort to as outreach to sort of connect with people, to put myself out there as hopefully maybe something of an example or somebody that we can connect with, and not only would I be doing you a disservice to say I've had these days and really I've been sneaking pieces of cheesecake and Snicker bars. So I don't want to erode my own credibility. Right, with it. But the other thing is there's nothing to be gained by it. Like, as I sit here on May the 14th, I'm looking to build. Let's all be clear. Probably, if the most watches, the most views that this video will ever get will be sometime in the future. It's very likely that if you're seeing this, you're watching this at some point in the future, where you've discovered me down the line, and hopefully I'm Fit Russ with a great message about mindset and how I was able to get there, and my finances are looking awesome, and I've got the whole picture put together, and and I'm excited about life, and I've got something that I'm really sharing with people. You know, and I feel like you know, look, it's not that I don't have some of that now, but, you know, obviously this is the before. I'm in the before stage, and I'm still building audience. You know, there's nobody that's hanging on these videos right now as I'm recording this, you know, week to week. So, you know, the much simpler thing was for me to just, you know, like, look, if I'm not serious about this weight loss effort, then just stop making the videos. Nobody would care. Nobody would miss them. You know, this is as much about for posterity or much about documenting the journey for people to discover it later. Now, I hope that you'll find it. You know, I hope each week there'll be more viewers and more viewers. And, you know, hey, it's 2021. Do I have to say, you know, the stereotypical boilerplate stuff like, hey, give me likes, like my video, and comment below, and da-da-da-da. But sure, you know, please do. Like, comment below, you know, give me your feedback, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me you don't like me. I don't care, it's all fair game. I mean, hey, you're right, like, this is it's what it's all about, you know. You see, you know, I'm hemming and hawing here because I said this in week one. I'm not working for a script. I could be doing that. I've decided not to, and I'm not looking to do much in the way of editing. You know, I've got a pretty basic camera here, and because I'm giving it to you raw and straight and honest and real as much as I possibly can. I think those are all important things to it, and to speak extemporaneously and from the heart, and, you know, so hopefully I keep it as interesting as I possibly can for you, and say exactly what needs to be said. So, you know, I think I've given the update and told you what it is that I'm struggling with, and so, you know, again, tune in next week for those items. And I mentioned before, you know, that I'm involved in a program in my weight loss effort for the very first time. I may start talking about what that is. At this point, you know, I haven't quite settled on it as to what exactly that I'm doing. I will say that, you know, it's helping to make a difference in the fact that, you know, that I get to see those numbers, right? Again, it does have you doing the logging the weight every day, also meal by meal, right? So, you know, that's an approach that I haven't taken, you know, before. Other modes of support in the program, but I think also the fact that, you know, again, we didn't break the bank, but my wife and I, there was a little bit of outlay, and I think when you pay for something, you know, you're a little bit more invested, like kind of literally. But, you know, so it's been helpful. You know, I haven't thought of, you know, mainly, you know, as much as anything, and maybe ultimately I might decide that, you know, am I going to move on from this or not? Thought about, you know, how I wanted to approach talking about the program that I'm on. And, you know, so maybe moving forward, you know, next week I'm thinking I probably will start talking about it a little bit more in depth, tell you what it is that I'm doing, and perhaps convert at least a portion of what these videos are about to do, you know, sort of like an independent, on the fly, in real time, you know, independent evaluation. Maybe it's a testimonial. Maybe eventually I'll decide, yeah, you know, I can do without it. You know, that's kind of a tune in and see, right? So I look forward to talking to you next week. You know, again, wish me luck that we won't still be hovering right at the 249 mark. And until I get a chance to talk to you next week, you have a great week.